Unethical issues in engineering practices. One of the issues is conflict of interest. What is conflict of interest? A conflict of interest arises when what is in a person's best interest is not the best interest of another person or organization to which a person owes loyalty. These are the possible situations that can lead to conflict of interest: self-dealing, family interest, social status, able and disabled, outside employment, and gift. There are three types of conflict of interest: actual, potential, apparent.
Have you ever been faced with a decision where your personal interests seem to be in conflict with your loyalty to the company? Where what seems good for you may not be good for the company? It happens to a lot of us, and it can be very stressful as we struggle with making the best decision. Imagine that a vendor has offered your family tickets to a concert headlined by the latest teenage sensation. Do you take the tickets and make your 13-year-old daughter happy but potentially feel obligated to the vendor for future purchases? Or do you refuse the tickets, but then face an evening of teenage tears when you get home from work? It can feel like you're caught between a rock and a hard place. The good news is that by the end of this brief video, you'll have the tools to confidently make the best choice in these situations. You'll make the right choices for both yourself and for the company, avoid potential disciplinary action, and feel a whole lot better in the process. The first step to avoiding conflicts of interest is to be able to identify one. A conflict of interest can occur anytime we have a financial interest or some other interest, such as a political or social interest, that could in some way impair our fairness and impartiality on the job. Some examples of a conflict of interest include outside activities like a second job, holding political office where your official duties are in conflict with your work responsibilities, or owning stock in a vendor or a competitor. Also, accepting a valuable gift, such as the concert tickets, from a vendor that does business with our company can create real conflicts of interest, because the next time you give more work to that vendor, you may have created the appearance that you provided that work in exchange for the valuable gift. Something that appears unethical to others and damages your reputation. Also, since you feel obligated to the vendor, you may not make the best decision for the company. So, by now, you should have the information you need to identify conflict. What's next? Well, you have to disclose the conflict. Let's say your brother-in-law is a computer vendor and he approaches you about helping him gain a contract with the company. Since you have a personal relationship with your brother-in-law, it's clearly a conflict of interest for you, so you must disclose the conflict.
Islamic point of view. O you who have attained to faith! Be ever steadfast in upholding equity, bearing witness to the truth for the sake of God, even though it be against your own selves or your parents and kinsfolk. Whether the person concerned be rich or poor, God's claim takes precedence over the claims of either of them. Do not, then, follow your own desires, lest you swerve from justice, for if you distort the truth, behold, God is indeed aware of all that you do. How to control or stop the conflict? First is to avoid favoritism by treating others with equity. Don't give any preference to particular clients, including your friends and family. Always prioritize important matter than personal desire. Next, is to call for collective decisions. Make sure that more than one officer is involved when making collective decisions and when handling tasks that can lead to malpractice. You can also avoid conflicting roles. Declare to your employer and your clients any financial interest in any project, supplier, or any business related to your duties. Avoid from any possible business dealing related to conflict. In conclusion, don't take anything for granted. Remember that whatever seems good for you might not be good for anyone else. Always identify possible conflict of interest and remove them immediately.